Hello, everyone. This is Miss Blanchard with your remote learning for Algebra 1. We're going to be using quadratic functions to describe situations. This lesson is a short video just to show you what type of vocabulary and what type of things you need to do to complete your activity for this lesson. So we're not gonna we are just going to go over a few things, and then you guys should be able to complete your lesson and or come see me on the Zoom every day, Monday through Friday, 10:30 and 1:30. Okay, so first thing you need to know are the vocabulary word. What is a quadratic function? A quadratic function is one of the forms of f of x equal ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are numbers and they're not zero. They can be positive or negative numbers, but they're not equal to zero. And that's a, b, and c, okay? And C, as you can imagine, maybe is probably your starting point, okay, of this equation. So C does not have a variable. A and B are constants or coefficients with the variable. And what makes this set up a quadratic is because it's x squared. So when you see a form of equation or a function written with x squared, it's a quadratic. Um, Vertex of a graph, the point where the parabola crosses its axis of symmetry. The vertex is the middle of the graph, and the middle of is on the middle of that specific parabola, and it is the point. And you'll see that. We'll go over that. A zero of a function is when any replacement for the variable will produce an answer of zero. So whatever you replace the variable with, and the answer will be zero. So that's a zero of a function. Minimum of a graph is the lowest point of the parabola, and the maximum of the graph is the highest point of the parabola. And the minimum is also it could be a vertex, and your maximum is also your vertex. And I'll go through that. So you have some parent functions. A parent function is exactly it's the parent of the graph of the quadratic. A parent function lets you know that x squared is a quadratic. When you see something squared is a quadratic. The standard form is what we've already looked at. The type of graph that this quadratic will create is a parabola. The axis of symmetry. You'll need this information not for this particular assignment, but you'll need this information to complete other assignments. So if you could make sure that you write this down, take something, write it down, take your phone, take a picture. So you'll have this to refer back to as you complete more and more assignments until the rest of the school year is over. And then the y-intercept, like I mentioned, is the c. Now, some of you guys was saying, what is a parabola? A parabola is the graph that is a U. So it's a U. Now here you have the graph. Now here we have a minimum. The minimum is here. That's the minimum point, and it's also our vertex. The axis of symmetry is when you can take a line and you go down the middle, and we know that that's our axis of symmetry. But they also provided you a formula that if you don't know that for exact, or if the point is not so pretty, you can use whatever information you have to get that axis of symmetry. And once again, that comes into play. And then if your graph was going like this, then you know this would be your maximum. This would be known as the maximum point and the minimum, okay? So once again, this lesson is very short. It's just to go over some key points that you need to understand before we go, and so you can complete the activity for today, which is just taking quadratics, putting it on the graph, and just looking at it. And remember, quadratics we're not going to make it hard. I'm going to make this as simple as possible, and it is a parabola. Remember, a linear graph is a line, okay, and a quadratic is a U. If the U, it either looks like a U or it's an upside down U. Okay, so if you have any questions, come see me Monday through Friday, 10:30 and 1:30. I hope you guys do great. I know you guys will do great, and definitely, I cannot wait to see your progress in this class. Have a good one.